Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you some of those German rules that you shouldn't break. As a foreigner who have lived in Germany for a couple of years, I'm here to give you a rundown of those German rules that you shouldn't break when you come to Germany or as someone who is living in Germany.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead.
Don't cross the road when the light is red. If you cross the road when the light is red, you might be yelled at or you might be frowned at. So if the light is red, you have to wait until it turns green before you cross the road. Never you cross the road when it is red. Rule number 1. So let's go to rule number 2. If you're a driver, or let me say if you're driving, don't drive past when the light is red. Driving past when the light is red, you're going to get a fine, and you're going to get a fine depending on whatever happens. If you cross and you knock someone down, it's the worst thing that can happen to you. But then, to be on the safe side, never you drive and cross the road when the light is red. Driving and crossing the red light is forbidden, so you shouldn't do that. And also, you have to make sure you respect the speed limit. Germans have a lot of rules when driving, so do well to maintain speed limit. If you drive more than the required speed that you are supposed to, you are also going to get a fine depending on how much speed you had. And yeah, so do well to respect signs. Like if they say don't do this, don't do this, don't do it, because here in Germany there's this culture of if you do something that you're not supposed to do and it actually breaks the rule of the country, you're definitely going to get a fine. So if you don't want to pay so much fines in this country, do well to respect their rules. And one of these rules is don't cross the red light, don't drive more than the speed limit. Another rule you shouldn't break is don't go fishing without a fishing license. In order for you to fish in Germany, you should have a fishing license. If you don't have it, don't try go fishing, because you are going to be fined if you are caught. Another thing you shouldn't do here in Germany is don't throw bottles away. It's not allowed to throw bottles away, or if you have to throw it, you have to put it in, there's a bin that you have to put it in. You don't just litter it around. It's not allowed. So when you go to the shop and you want to buy water, you want to buy drinks, you pay extra 25 cents for each bottle. The reason why you're paying 25 cents is because you're paying for the bottle and then you pay extra for the content of that bottle. Germany has a bin for every glass bottle, so I'm going to put it on the screen so that you see. That is where you come. This is the right way for you to recycle your glass bottles. And for the plastic bottles with the sign that can be scanned, you can always take these plastic bottles back to the shop and sell it and get back 25 cents. And so yeah, or you can maybe pile it up, and if you see these people who are walking on the street and picking bottles, you can just give them as a gift. So don't throw bottles anyhow. So another rule you shouldn't break in Germany is when it comes to waste management. Like in Germany, there's this system where they have 4 different containers where you have to properly trash your bins. One container is for plastics, another container is for everything, cartons, papers, another container is for bio. There are 4 different containers. Make sure you trash your bins in the proper containers. You don't have to mix everything up. If you mix everything up, you might be fined for doing that. So do well to trash your bin rightly. It's very important that you trash your bin the right way. Another thing you shouldn't do in Germany, don't be late. Don't be late. Try and be very, very punctual. If you have an appointment somewhere and maybe, let me say, you're supposed to be there by 7 o'clock, and it's always very important that you go there as early as maybe 10 minutes to 7 or 5 minutes to 7 or on the time. Never you go after 7 o'clock. If you're going after the time, then you're considered late. You might have to miss that appointment. Try and be very punctual, because Germans are very, very punctual and they love it so much when you are punctual. Another German rule you shouldn't break is if you go to somebody's house, please Don't enter the house without taking off your shoes. Always take off your shoes immediately you enter someone's house. Take off your shoes and just walk in with your socks. Some houses do have slippers that you can wear once you enter the house, but if they don't, then take off your shoes and walk in with either barefooted or with the socks that you have on. So never you walk into someone's house with your shoes on. Germans hate that a lot. Another thing you shouldn't do is don't speak English in the public space. Maybe let me say you're saying something about somebody and you think that they are not getting what you're saying. Germans understand English and do well to speak English. You can speak English whenever you want to speak it, but don't speak English when you're talking. Maybe you want to gossip about somebody and you're saying it in English thinking that they don't understand you. You are understood. So many Germans do learn English in school. So if you're speaking English, do well to be mindful to speak your English. But if you want to gossip about something, don't dare to gossip in English. You can gossip in your dialect or in pidgin, but never you gossip in English when you're around Germans, because Germans do understand English. Another thing you shouldn't do in Germany is don't smile at strangers. You'll be shocked that if you walk on the way and you're smiling at people and they'll be looking at you as though you're like something is wrong with you. That's not done like that in Germany. In Germany, everybody's minding their business. Yeah, you might smile at someone who is also that kind of a person who likes to smile at people, but for the most part, it is not the case. Sorry, it's not the case. So when you see people on the road, you see strangers on the way, mind your business. Go to where you are going to. Be minding yourself and be going. Maybe until someone stops you and they want to find out something from you, then you can smile. But don't just see people passing and you want to smile with them. You'll be looked at as though you are, I don't know how to put it. Yeah, like something is wrong with you. So don't smile at strangers. Another rule you shouldn't break when you come to Germany is to use public transport without ticket. Yeah, Germans are very trustworthy. Most of the times they don't have bus conductors or train conductors standing on the train or on the bus to check if you have tickets before you get into a bus or if you get into a train or a tram. Most times you just walk in without anybody checking. But because people are abusing it, people tend to use the public transport without having tickets. Sometimes from time to time they send people to come into these buses, trams and trains to check to actually see if people have tickets. And if you don't have your ticket, you're going to be fined 60 euros. If you don't want to get yourself into trouble, do well to always buy your ticket and just be on the safe side. Buy your ticket. Whether the ticket is being checked or it is not checked, just have your ticket on you, because you never know when they're going to walk in and start doing their check. So don't be fined for not having a ticket. Imagine you're supposed to buy a ticket for 2 euros and you didn't buy it and you're going to be fined for 60 euros. It pains a lot. So don't fall into that trap. In Germany, Germans do address people by their last name. Where I come from, we address people by their first name. Like me, my name is Vanessa, so I'm always addressed as Vanessa or as Vani. So I've never been addressed with my last name. But in Germany, you most likely, or let me say, you will always be addressed with your last name. So in Germany, never you address someone with their first name. Address people by their last name, not with their first name. That's a German culture. Please do well to respect it, and also do well to pronounce people's names correctly. You'll be shocked that someone might get angry with you just because you didn't pronounce their names well. So name pronunciation and proper pronunciation of someone's name is very, very important. Do well to pay attention to that. Call people by their last names and please pronounce their names correctly. And if in case you didn't pronounce it correctly, or if you pronounce it and you feel like it was not correct, you can ask, did I pronounce your name correctly? If not, then you can be corrected, and so that next time you call it the right way, because people usually get angry when their names are not pronounced correctly. Yeah. Another German rule you shouldn't break is don't walk on the bicycle lane. So there's a lane for cars, there's a lane for bicycles, and there's a lane for pedestrians. Do well to walk on your path as a pedestrian, because if you're walking on the bicycle lane, a bicycle might knock you, and the bicycle has right because you are on the bicycle lane of which you're supposed to be on the pedestrian lane. Make sure you don't walk on the bicycle lane. The bicycle lane is only for bicycles, the car lane is only for cars, and the pedestrian lane is for pedestrians. So another German rule you shouldn't break is don't disrespect quiet hours. Don't break the rule of respecting quiet hours. In Germany, our quiet time starts at 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., everywhere is supposed to be quiet. You're not supposed to be loud. You're not supposed to play music. You're supposed to be very quiet because people are back from their daily hustles, from their daily activities, and it's time for them to rest. So you have to be quiet, or else your neighbor, whom you're disturbing, might call the police for you. And if the police comes and they find out that truly you were disturbing, you might be fined. I don't know what might happen. So for you to be on the safe side, not to get yourself into trouble, do well not to step as long as it's already past 10 p.m. in the night. And also on Sundays, most of the times people are home on Sundays resting to prepare themselves for Monday work. So quiet time is something that is so much cherished by the Germans. Do well to respect it so that you save yourself from trouble. Another German rule you shouldn't break is don't drink alcohol and drive. If you must drink alcohol, drink according to the limit that you're supposed to. Don't drink more than what you're supposed to drink, because if you drink past your limit, unfortunately the police get to check. Maybe something may happen and the police has to check on something, and they taste your alcohol consumption level and see that you consume more than what you're supposed to consume. You might be fined, especially if you're still a new driver who is still in your trial years. You know that as a new driver, you have a period of 2 years to drive, like we call it here probation time, 2 years period. So do well to not drink alcohol and drive. If you must drink according to the required limit that you are supposed to. Don't drink more than what you're supposed to drink. The worst is to drink and you are drunk and you are driving. That means people's lives are in danger. Yeah, that was a lot. So these are the German rules I had for you. Do well to respect them so that you don't get yourself into trouble. I hope you learned one or two. Please do well to subscribe and like the video if you found it interesting. And on this note, I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.